Well, firstly, I'm the outsider between the two insiders. So the prism that I am viewing this from is completely different. Though I, as Samir rightly said, have been a big votary of the Namo campaign, and several people actually told me long before May 16th कि आपने तो मोदी को प्रधानमंत्री बना दिया. That, for people who don't understand Hindi, is that you've already made Modi the Prime Minister of India long before May 16th and the polling results actually came out. So I went to Rewari last year, which I believe was the beachhead for Modi. That is the first tent pole that in this process of building blocks towards coming to Delhi, Rewari was a crucial thing.
Absolutely.
I did not play journo that day. I mixed with the people and tried to understand what they were thinking about this person. And what I found was most intriguing. Nobody there, at least the people who I interfaced with, and there was a huge crowd, it was hot as hell, nobody there was talking about the BJP. People were saying, we've come to see this man, this Modi. And for these people in Rewari, Modi was like me here, an outsider, complete outsider. They didn't know who this guy was. They'd probably seen him on TV. They liked what they saw. They wanted to see him in person. They climbed the poles of the Shamiana, and it was we had these amazing pictures the next day where you had 3-4 people standing on these totem poles and basically looking at this guy. So the BJP was out, Modi was in, and I think that there and then I realized that there is something happening here, which is that the party is no longer something that people want to vote for. It is the person and his identity, his image, which they want to vote for. So over time, one heard several speeches, and I think the great thing that Modi succeeded in doing, and I want to pick up on what Ashok said here, which is that he exploited that vacuum which existed in people's minds and perception of an inscrutable Buddha sitting in 7 Racecourse Road and the immovable Sphinx sitting in 10 Janpat. The distance between the two is hardly a kilometer, maybe less, but that distance is what Modi successfully identified, worked on. Communication. Communication was the biggest, I guess, motivator for him, and communication is what became probably the bulwark and bedrock of his campaign. And I'll give you a couple of examples. He went to Bareilly, and he would meld emotion, aggression, all sorts of quotients into one, and speak a lingua franca which was easily understood by the people who had come to watch him. And these people had obviously come to watch him for the first time, just as those people had come to watch him for the first time in Rewari. So he says Bareilly is a town. Most people would know it as somewhere that Priyanka Chopra was born. But Bareilly, I think, was very important because he said, Bareilly mein, and I'll translate for those who don't understand Hindi, Bareilly mein ab jhumka nahi girega. So there's this famous song, 1966, Mera Saya, Sadhna, who was drop dead gorgeous and one of the icons of that age, sang this song called Bareilly ke bazaar mein jhumka gira rahe. So he said, Bareilly mein jhumka nahi girega. Jhumka are earrings. Jhumka nahi girega. Oh, people just went wild. They said, well, what is this guy saying? There was a connect, an immediate connect with the people on the ground. Then he moves on, he speaks, and he says, we love flying kites in Gujarat, but we can't fly those kites without the manja, which is that thing that you use, the thread, the strong thread. But we cannot fly those kites till the manja comes from Bareilly. Bareilly is famous for that manja.
Yeah, very true.
So now just see how he's localizing his campaign. He's talking about larger issues, but he's also localizing his campaign, and he's talking to the people. And he's not talking down to the people, he's talking to the people, which is the single biggest difference between what he did and what, say, the Congress party did with its tired, jaded, faded campaign style. Because it continued to plump for welfare economics, it continued to talk about how they will give a dole to the people instead of talking to the people. That hum hospital banayenge, we will make a hospital where you will be treated without paying. That same old 10-year baggage of dole and welfare economics. This guy said, I'll give you jobs. He went to Bhubaneswar, I think, Orissa, and he said, I'll quote, I wrote it down, मैं सोमनाथ की भूमि से आया हूं, जगन्नाथ की भूमि में आज पहुंचा हूं. Somnath is the big temple in Gujarat, Jagannath is the big temple in Orissa. So he connects the dots and he suddenly distances disappear. He says, मैं सोमनाथ की भूमि से आया हूं, आज जगन्नाथ की भूमि में आया हूं, जय जगन्नाथ. So the people, once again, go ballistic. They identify with this man. And we keep talking about image, persona. We talk about perception and reality, and we also talk about convergence of the place, the exact place where perception and reality merge. And I think that is where Modi stood. And that is what Modi stood for. The reality of perception and reality merging. The converged space is where Modi stood. And he understood exactly what the people wanted. And it's not that he did this now. If you go back to his last Gujarat campaign, which Ashok touched upon, where he spoke extensively in Gujarati because his audience was Gujarati. I remember there was a famous speech where, I don't remember the exact place, where he said that, look at how the Congress treated Amitabh Bachchan. They chased Amitabh Bachchan away. What did I do? I brought Amitabh Bachchan to Gujarat. I made him the brand ambassador. He's the salesman for my state. Again, he touched upon that emotional quotient. He attacked the Congress. He appropriated Amitabh Bachchan. I mean, there are so many messages. There are multiple messages that he's giving in one speech. And again, people identified with it. Emotion, again, another example. Again, I'll translate because with Modi everything was in Hindi. सौगंध है इस मिट्टी की, मैं देश को झुकने नहीं दूंगा. Now here is an India which is perceived to be effete, weak. So he used Mendhar, he used the line of control and activities on the line of control extensively as part of his campaign. And these are the messages that he sent out repeatedly to the people, that I believe in a strong India. Now what he was saying essentially here is that I swear on Mother Earth, on Mother India, that I will not allow this country to bow down to anybody. सौगंध है इस मिट्टी की, मैं इस देश को झुकने नहीं दूंगा. Again, a very popular campaign style. It worked very well. It connected with a lot of people.
Just a FYI on that. It's the highest downloaded caller tune. That whole thing, we converted it to a caller tune and see how many people putting it on their phone. So just a small tidbit on that.
So catch. There are several examples. So catchwords, catchphrases. There was also in several places a sardonic take on things. He would actually sneer on the way the Congress has conducted itself over the last 10 years. Ashok gave the example of how he singularly attacked Andhra Pradesh and the role of Congress politicians on the eve of the polling in Andhra Pradesh. And where did he do that? Right in Rahul Gandhi's backyard, in Amethi. So, in many ways, a military style campaign. Very focused. But look at all the elements that were coming into this, the inputs, the elements that were coming into this. there is Arvind here, there is Ajay Singh, there is Prasun Joshi, there is Piyush Pandey, there is Prashant Kishore. Look at the inputs, the elements, and yet you have a fine-tuned, focused. See, we talk about broadcasting. This was a classic example of narrowcasting. Narrowcasting in every single pitch stop of his campaign. Narrow focusing. I have a message. I have a message for Bareilly. I have a message for Orissa. I have a message for Hyderabad. I have a message for Trichur. I think he went to Trichurpalli. I have a message for Trichurpalli. I have a message for Punjab, Jammu, wherever. But the man made the campaign. And we need to understand this. I don't think the BJP, or for that matter, any other political party at this particular juncture in this country had a personality like Modi to deliver that message. You can be an organ grider's monkey. You can go there, stand up and say what you have to. But the message won't get to the people. So you had a person here who was actually the perfect weapon for this messaging. And his entire campaign was predicated on communication. And all the inputs, I don't know how he assimilated it. I hear that he wakes up very early in the morning, looks at things, digests everything. But Arvind is somebody, or Ajay Singh, people like that would be able to tell us how, because there's a lot of input that's coming in. So how do you rationalize that input? How do you assimilate it, digest it, and then go out there day after day? What was another feature? Tireless, industrious, bruising, even at times brutal campaign. Towards the end, you would have seen that he practically had laryngitis. He was sunburnt because he was out every day, and yet he would go back to Ahmedabad every single night, if I'm not wrong.
Absolutely.
Every single night from wherever he was. I think one day he was in Assam. He went from Assam to Andhra Pradesh. From Andhra Pradesh, there were two big rallies in Tamil Nadu, and then he went back to Ahmedabad. Tirelessness. What did people see? People said, "Acha, this guy is working hard. This guy has a background of delivering." See, he was a regional leader, but he was a regional leader who had a background of delivering, or at least it told us that. I mean, industrialization in Gujarat. I've traveled to Gujarat extensively in the mid-90s. Industrialization in Gujarat is overstated and overplayed. The actual success of Narendra Modi in those 12, 13 years that he was chief minister was actually agriculture. The industrialization story was overplayed, overstated, but it connected. Now we talk about the youth dividend, the demographic dividend. Why was a younger set of people, or even the middle-aged people, willing to punt on this man? Why were they willing to vote for him? Why? Because they sensed that at least this guy will deliver, because he has a background of delivery. In the 10 years that the UPA was in power, those 10 years were pretty much running in parallel with his own tenure as a chief minister. We seem to miss that point. Those 10 years and his 12 years were running in parallel. What did they have to show? What did he have to show? He provided the right messages, while the UPA, where he himself called Manmohan Singh Manmohan, Mon being the silent prime minister. And he repeatedly emphasized on the silence part of it. And he exploited that. Now, to answer what Samir said, that how difficult was it, and Arvind also knows about this, how difficult was it, say, internally and with other people? Okay, at different points in time, I was told, 166. That's all. Nothing more. Within the group, outside, within media, the frat, people said there's no way in hell he can get more than 166. Editors within my own group, I used to tell them that I can see this wave. They used to tell me I was seeing an apparition. So I told them that I still believe, right till the end. I got it wrong myself, let me tell you that. Right till the end, and again Arvind knows this, I believe that he would get anything between 220 and 225 on his own. And then he would be able to cobble up the rest through the alliances that had been tied up even before the election. But I equally knew that there was something happening in Uttar Pradesh. I never ever imagined that he would get 73 if you include Apna Dal. Never ever imagined. I thought he would get anything between 50 and 55. So yes, it was a battle. It was a battle.
I must tell, Sandeep and me, we disagreed on the numbers.
Yeah.
He said 220, I said 260 plus. So I also got it wrong by about 10%. But we agreed on one number, I think.
Yeah.
That was 7-0 for Delhi.
Yeah.
We both agreed on that, and that's what happened.
Yeah, absolutely. So as we moved closer to the polling, as we got into the heat and dust of the polling, the actual polling, people in the media frat also sensed that things had begun to change. Now, let's understand, for a lot of people in media and particularly in Delhi, as Ashok said, Modi was an untouchable. Modi was a complete untouchable. And anybody seen to be backing Modi at that particular juncture was viewed to be, I mean, this guy is a creature from another planet. But as you got closer to May 16, and as May 16 happened, by 11 o'clock, the show was over. Of course, it stunned Delhi. It stunned Delhi's media. It stunned the world media. It was like being punched in the solar plexus. But then that was the reality. 282 seats on his own. Only based on his own campaigning. Where was the BJP? Where did Sushma Swaraj campaign? Vidisha. Where did Advani ji campaign? Parts of Madhya Pradesh and Gandhinagar. Who else campaigned for the BJP? Where was that tall national leader from the BJP who campaigned from north to south and east to west? There was nobody. There's a movie called JFK in which Kevin Costner plays Jim Garrison, if I remember right. He says this was a military style execution. Modi's campaign was a military style execution. Completely. And you need to give credit only to one man. He himself, of course, and this army of invisibles which surrounded him. But
they're all getting visible now.
But at the end of the day, the image is everything. The image is everything. And you will only remember what Modi said. Now, mercifully, these guys are getting credit for all that data, all the numbers and whatever else. The inputs, I'm amazed at the level of input. For me, the most important thing was the level of input, the quality of input, the localized element of the campaign, and the getting it right again and again. He made his errors. I mean, he sent Shama Prasad Mukherjee's ashes to Geneva. He made his errors. People laughed, joked.
Alexander also, right?
I mean, there were several. Shama Prasad Mukherjee, Alexander is different. Shama Prasad Mukherjee is the Hindutva icon. You can't get that wrong, no. But he got that wrong. And people allowed him that flexibility. People allowed him that space. Because people, at the end of the day, were hoping against hope that there will be a change. I mean, just imagine if we had more of the same. Or alternatively, if we had a Republic of Khichdi, which is Samajwadi, Mayawati, XYZ. The other important thing, and I'll end with this, is what did Modi do because of this campaign? I mean, it's politically incorrect to say this. What the hell? I think for the first time, it'll be completely politically incorrect to say this, but I think for the first time, as a journalist and somebody who's spent 30 years in media, I saw the Hindu vote consolidating in this country. It's not something that you will say, nobody will say this, I'm saying it. the Hindu vote consolidated in this country for the very first time. It could be for various reasons. I don't want to get into that. But the Hindu vote consolidated. And there is empirical evidence to back what I'm telling you. If you look at the way the upper castes, the Kshatris, the Brahmins, the lower castes, and everybody down that vector voted, the answer is that the Hindu vote consolidated in this country. That's why you got UP, the numbers that you got. That's why you got the numbers that you got in Bihar. At the same time, the complete marginalization of regional chieftains, barring maybe three, Mamata Banerjee, Jayalalitha, and Naveen Patnaik, who withstood this tidal wave. What's his name?
Nitish.
No. Let's start with Mulayam Singh Yadav.
Mayawati 0.
5 seats. Who are the 5? All Yadavs.
Family members.
All Yadavs, all family members. What's that? Bihar Chief Minister? Nitish Kumar.
I like the way he speaks.
Nitish Kumar. Then that lady in Uttar Pradesh.
Mayawati.
Yeah.
Great.
Maharashtra. I'll give you one last example. Maharashtra. 2 seats is what the Congress got. They lost Nandurbar, which they haven't lost since elections have taken place in this country. And of those 2 winners, who won? Ashok Chavan. That makes you think. Okay, I'll end with that.
Thank you.